Welcome to the Thornton Review.
The show designed with you in mind. If it's important to you, it's important to us.
Cindy Martin and Lavon Brown are two local mothers who lost their sons to gun violence. Through their grief, they each founded organizations that advocate to provide support and awareness on the impacts of violence and homicide. Both nonprofit organizations share the purpose of providing the specific needs to mothers who have experienced the negative emotional and physical trauma over the death of a child. Cindy Martin founded Lemonzzz to Lemonade Incorporated following the tragic murder of her son, Matthew Sheldon Cox Jr., on July 28, 2012. Lemonzzz to Lemonade has partnered with professionals to provide counseling to mothers and to create a nurturing environment for youth ages 8 to 18. They assist grieving mothers and families by educating the community to reduce gun violence, create opportunities for at-risk youth, and change mindsets by investing in every child's potential. Lavon Brown founded P.A.I.N Incorporated, Parents Against Injustice and Negligence, after her first son, Lavon Brown's life was taken through homicide on October 22, 2012. P.A.I.N engages with the community by hosting a variety of events and offers the Garden of Peace and Hope, a memorial garden for homicide victims' families, and a place for the community to use for peaceful reflection. Both mothers invite everyone in the community who have experienced the death of their child to join them for help and support. Hi, I'm Pueschel Schneier, Executive Producer and Manager of the Thornton Review. Thank you for tuning in. Our guests on today's show are Cindy Martin, founder of Lemonzzz to Lemonade, and Lavon Brown of P.A.I.N Incorporated, Parents Against Injustice and Negligence. So thank you both for coming onto the show. It's so nice to meet you. So Cindy, we're going to start with you. Can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Cindy Martin. I'm a local activist here in the community. I founded Lemonzzz to Lemonade. It emerged from my personal journey of losing my son, Matthew Sheldon Cox Jr. at the age of 19. I was in a home sleep. Thank God I didn't hear any shots. But, and I'm not afraid to say it. I really want to say this because, to be honest, I believe it was a drug encounter. And that is the reason why I am doing what I'm doing. I don't want any other family to have to endure this pain. So I'm out in the community and I'm working with children, just in the Morris Court area, mainly in Brownsville and the area where I live is in Montclair. So that's why I started this organization. My son, he's the driving force. God made him the driving force behind my actions. That's why I'm able to stay here today. So I created this nonprofit, 501c3, so I can reach more people and I can connect with other families.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. And Lavon, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Lavon Brown. I'm the president of Parents Against Injustice and Negligence, P.A.I.N, and we was founded in 2012. A local group of citizens came together in December 2012 for a prayer group to pray in Montclair, matter of fact. And I was invited to a radio station. Actually, Cindy Cindy, Miss Rosa Dukes, and myself was invited by Joan Gully to a radio station. After we finished the radio broadcast, we was in the lobby and we was talking and we was like, hey, let's keep this going. And actually I met a lady named Lisa Wiggins, and she had prior told me if we needed to meet anywhere, she would provide the space. Right. And after we got through with the the radio broadcast, and we was like, I called Lisa Wiggins, and she said, "Yeah, come on, let's meet." So we started meeting. It was in December on a Monday. I think it was the 6th, and we still meeting today. So our meetings are twice a month, the first and the third Monday of each month at 6 o'clock. And where we're located is 2400 West Michigan Avenue, Unit 9. And so my son also was killed 2012, October 2012. And that's my driving force as well. I don't want anybody to have to endure the pain that I had to endure. So I have a real driving force to go out in the community and help others that this won't happen to somebody else. But it's going to continue as the world goes on. But I would love, and I always say that God turned my shoes of pain into shoes of hope. So I walk in shoes called hope. And I thank God every day that I'm still in my right mind, but God, and I am a survivor. So we do community outreach, awareness, community. We team up with other people as well, partners like Valerie House, that we can't do counseling ourselves. Miss Mary Archibald, we send them to there. We partner with her and also with Valerie House. It's a group of a very good organization that helps the whole family. So they have professional counseling for the children and the adults. So also we do Reimagine with Linda English when they come here. I don't know if that's too long.
That's all right.
Oh, okay.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for the introduction. And it just, I can tell that you two are making an impact in the community. And
Yes, we've been friends for a while. My son died with July 28th, 2012, and her son died right after me. When you pull up the article in the news journal, I wish I had it. My son and her son is side by side.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's amazing. I'm so
and
sorry.
I think your son's birthday is
Same day yours
same
is.
day as
Really?
mine.
Yeah.
Wow. So
yeah.
God did bring y'all together to make a difference in the
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion with Cindy Martin, Lemonzzz to Lemonade, and Lavon Brown, P.A.I.N Incorporated, Parents Against Injustice and Negligence. There is no government-funded program that can guide a man's thoughts. Only God can do that. Company can install any type of fence. When you call and mention the Thornton Review, you'll receive a $100 discount on your fence. They also offer military discounts. Vinyl fence, wood fence, aluminum fence, chain link fence. If it has the word fence, Alpha Fence Company can do it. 850-586-8020. 850-586-8020. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back. We're going to continue our discussion with Cindy Martin and Lavon Brown of their organizations that they established because of the death of their sons that happened on the same, well, their birthdays were on the same day, but their sons' deaths happened very close together. And I believe that God brought y'all together to make an impact in the community.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. So, Cindy, how do people get in touch with Lemonzzz to Lemonade? What's the phone number and your website or Facebook page?
My phone number is 850-221-8467. You can go on Facebook and you'll find it under Lemonzzz to Lemonade Incorporated.
Okay. And Lemonzzz to Lemonade is lemons with 3 Z's.
Yes, that's
the,
very
the
important.
number 2, and then lemonade.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
if people just type in lemons with an S and the
They won't
2,
find it. And
the word 2.
And the reason why I did the 3 Z's is because I was asleep and I was stuck in my trauma story of my son being murdered. And I was like, why did this have to happen to me? The young man, he had already robbed my son. Why did he didn't have to kill him? You know, so that was part of my personal story. And I attended a Circle of Mothers retreat where Trayvon Martin's mother was the co-founder of it. Circle
Where
of Mothers.
was that?
It was in 2019 in Fort Lauderdale, Miami.
So you heard about that from somebody and you were
that.
invited to it.
Yes, I probably can explain that a little bit later. But
Okay.
yes, so there's like at that retreat 80 to 90 mothers from across the nation.
Okay.
And Ayanna Van Zant fixed my life. She's an inspirational speaker. She was there. So
What's
during
her
the
name?
retreat, Ayanna Van Zant.
That's a pretty
She's
name.
a life coach, Sabrina's life coach. So we had a retreat, and I remember her telling me, you can come out of your depression. You're in a depression. Just because you were diagnosed, you don't have to stay in that depression.
Okay.
And so the inspiration that I received from Sabrina and Ayanna, I was released. You know, I exercised my faith. I was released from this trauma at that time, and I was able to move on to 2019.
Wow.
A new chapter. I was stuck.
Thank God. Yeah.
I was asleep. I said, you know what? And I thought about Lemonzzz to Lemonade, how, you know, we overcome, how I overcame. That's
love
what
it.
happened. I said, it's time to make lemonade.
There
It's
you go.
time to change, make some changes. So,
Well, I'm happy for you
thank you.
that you're able to overcome and branch out and do all these positive things that you're doing. So the phone number is 850-221-8467.
And the address is 2525 North T. I'm sorry, it's 2525 Lee Street, West Lee Street. We're on the corner of North T and Lee.
And that's where you have your meetings?
Most of the time that's where the children, with the children, have an after school program.
Okay.
But for the mothers, we meet at CHOP, which is Community House of Prayer. I don't know the address right now.
That's
But it's
okay,
on
because
Old
people can
Palafox
get in
Street.
touch with you to get the address. That's fine.
Right.
So okay, let me ask you this. Is there a difference between grief for a mother who lost a child to murder as opposed to a car accident or cancer or something else?
Yes, Lord. But I will say that the trauma is very, 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 very similar. But we have the added burdens of court dates. Am I right?
Yes.
Oh my God. I have been
That's stressful.
to court 3 times, 2 appeals and 1 regular court date. And this young man just filed another appeal.
Oh, wow.
So you have your family that wants to come out of town and come to the court dates. They cancel. They putting them off.
Right. There's
You
no
know,
swift justice anymore.
There is no justice. The justice is for the prosecutor, the attorney, the lawyers, and the jury.
Yeah.
We have to continue to live with this forever. It will never stop. Never stop. We run into their families. You know what I'm saying? The media. You know, you had all these added burdens. It's never. The only way I'm going to get closure, my son's going to have to come back and fill this hole in my heart that's bleeding constantly.
So now what can mothers expect when they get involved? So they get in touch with you, they speak with you over the phone or email each other and you invite them to a meeting, or how does that work?
Right. It's not easy because a lot of mothers don't want to deal with this. Am I right? We can invite them out. We invite them out. They know when they have meetings. They know when we have meetings. Now, we have something big. It's different. But when you're trying to get them in a personal setting, it's hard. So we're building kind of slow. right now.
It could be because they don't know what to expect, and they know that they're, well, I'm just kind of guessing, but I could imagine they would think that they know they're going to be around other mothers who've done the same thing, and they're just those feelings are just going to come up.
That's what happens. They don't want to
But
deal with it.
So exposure therapy is a thing, and if you deal with those feelings with other people who've dealt with them, that's probably where a lot of the therapy comes from, and they don't realize that.
Yeah, so we try to do fun activities like every other week. Like today is our meeting day. Today we meet at CHOP. On the second week in 2 weeks, we meet at different restaurants and different, one of the other mothers, she has a bakery. We might meet in her place. So we're always doing something. And they tend to come to the other meetings, you know, when we're eating out or at different places. Then come to the meetings.
Is there a speaker at the meetings? Is it like a counseling, or is it just getting together with the girls and having a good time and just kind of relaxing?
We believe that having trauma-informed counselors is very important. So we try to have mothers who have lost children to be speakers, whether they come from out of town or if they're local. Because I found it being with the Circle of Mothers that mothers who are skilled, that have lost children, we respond to them better.
So is there a difference between a bereavement counselor who does not specialize in?
The difference is that we can accept it better because that person that you're talking about that's not having lost a child can only tell me things that another person told them. So we're getting it firsthand. I can actually, you know, feel when she says, hey, those sleeping pills don't work, you know, they're not going to work. And they make you lose your memory. But to hear that from somebody else that's taking sleeping pills or tried it, and I'm like, oh my God, I tried the same thing. You know, we tried this medication, that medication. I just can accept it better. We feel better. And that's what I want to do, because there was no organization when I, you know, back in 2019, when I got released from my depression, that was all inclusive of mothers who share the profound experience of grieving the death of a child. While traditional counseling may be available, they don't cater to our specific needs. I attended Compassionate Friends, and they are an excellent counseling company. But after I attended that course for about 6 weeks, or was it 5 weeks, the guy that taught the course told me that he had never dealt with a family that had anyone murdered. And so that, it was 1 week left in the course. I was like, what is the use of me coming? So I just didn't show up. Also, like, I tried to go to the Lakeview Center. It's like a jailhouse. It don't look like this, like this nice place. And they go by sliding fee scale. So everybody, I wasn't eligible, and a whole lot of other mothers aren't either. So this is what I feel is needed. Lavon specializes in what is it? Crime. Is it crime? Murder victims, and mine is just all inclusive for all mothers. So that's why we're here today, for one reason, to let people know we are together on this. There's no competition at all. They're doing their thing, we're doing our thing, and sometimes we can come together on different things.
Absolutely.
So they have a support group for mothers too.
So I noticed when you emailed me your biography and your information, you mentioned your son's name and his entire name, and you wanted me to know your son's name.
Yes.
And when you introduced yourself, you said your son's name twice in the introduction. Is it therapeutic for you to say his name?
Because
over
when
and
people
over?
ask me, how many children do I have? I say I have 3 children. So it just makes me feel good. I meet my son's friends, and I meet people that knew him. I knew your son Matthew, and I'm like, stop what I'm doing, I need to hear it.
Yeah.
So it's personal.
Right.
Other than saying I knew her son, I'll respond better to you when you say I knew Matthew. I'm like, oh my gosh, she knew his name, so she really must know him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes me feel good. It's very therapeutic.
So what can you explain the after school care? And how many days a week is it, and what happens? Who is there with the children, and what activities do they do? What do they talk about? Okay. And ages.
It's a Mostly it's a life skills class, but we do a
Okay.
lot through cosmetology,
Oh,
where they learn to be creative and how to communicate, healing and hope, and how to be resilient and independent and build confidence, and how to learn time management skills, and how to just great listening skills.
right.
And they learn it through cosmetology, and it gives them a whole new mindset. They can be out doing all kind of other stuff.
Is it boys and girls? Or
Right
men,
now
men
we
and
have girls. The boys, they have their clippers ready, but I'm trying to get started with the girls. It's supposed to be a 6-week course, but they won't leave. They want to come every night. Right now it's twice a week, and they're like, last night we had a class. They want to come tonight. I'm like, no, I have the meeting with the ladies. So
Oh, well, that's good that they want to come.
Oh my
That's
God, they like-
amazing because they're actually learning something as
They
opposed to
are
hanging out with their friends and getting in
learning.
trouble or whatever
Their
what kids
first
do.
job, they'll probably be a receptionist. If they
Yeah.
don't decide they want to do hair,
Sure.
right now they are loving it. They're loving it. Oh, they're loving it. It's building their self-esteem,
Be a receptionist in a
self-confidence.
beauty salon
Own
and
a
watch
salon.
them do hair all day, every day, and how they interact with the clients.
Yes, and they have to learn how to be resilient. I said, you got to bounce back. That lady might not like her hair. You can't. You got to learn. So this is teamwork in action. I'm teaching them how to be social without social media. So 2.5 hours, they are not thinking about their phones. They're not thinking about fighting. Girls get in trouble too.
Yeah,
I see a lot online, and around here, these girls
Girls are
fight in the
catty.
mall. So they are so happy. They're in school. They're bragging about it. They're talking to their moms. So I'm like, I don't have any room, so I'm looking for actually a bigger space, and I would like to apply for grants to do that, to move around.
And these are sisters of
There,
people
I
who
have
have
2
been-
of them that their mothers passed.
okay.
And some of them don't either have a mother or a father.
Okay.
You know, they're being raised
So this
by
is just
grandmothers.
pretty much anybody who wants to
It's for
go.
anybody.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because I'm working in an area that's close to me because it's easier for them to get there. We teach them, like, this weekend we're going to catch the bus. And the little girl was like, my mom's car broke. I said, guess what? Life skills. We're going to get on the bus. We're going to ride to the mall. We're going to get a transfer.
I love
Go on
it.
the mall. We're going to come back. I have a washing machine at the beauty shop where I teach them how to wash clothes. Like, why are you only putting it in one little small cup? I say, unless you have a job and you can buy washing powder, you're going to use 1 cup per load.
Yeah.
So some of them know and some don't know. It's just fun.
So it's like a home ec thing that
It
you're doing for the
is,
community.
and
That's
that's what-
amazing.
Yeah,
And
We
that's
need
what
that.
That is my long-term
Everybody needs
goal.
that.
My long-term goal.
Whether they've
is
been
to
through a
have-
trauma or not, they need it.
Right.
If I can get a building, that is it. I have another mother that works with me. Why can't I think of her name? But anyway, she has a bakery, and she's right by Sheila's boutique, Makosha. Miko's Eats and Treats. And so she's going to teach them how to make cakes and cookies. That's next. So they're going from one thing to the next. I'm also teaching them photography
Wow.
and videography. So everything that I know, they'll know. So they're going to be good. The youngest one is 8 right now. The oldest one is 15.
Okay.
So I'm trying to keep that age group. I'll be doing 15 to 18, but it's just, I have a program manager. I'm just waiting to get everything put together. And we'll have different nights.
You are one busy lady. Because you own a beauty salon also, right?
I'm doing a whole lot of
And-
other stuff outside that too, but
And you're
that's what
working
keeps
with
me
these
going.
girls.
My
Wow.
son, I can hear him say, Mama, keep going, don't stop.
Yeah, don't stop. We need you. We need you in the community for sure.
Right.
So, can you briefly describe Circle of Mothers? I know we probably don't want to get too deep into it, but who started it and how did you hear
Circle
about
of
it?
Mothers was created by Sabrina Fulton, which is Trayvon Martin's mother, and that's in Miami, Florida. Trayvon was racially profiled by a guy. We don't never mention his name because we don't like to give him airtime credit.
Gotcha.
And so she started the organization to build communities, to empower mothers and inspire them, and that's exactly what she does. And they create all type of activities for us when we meet once a year. And so it's 80 mothers, and it's important because we all come from all different backgrounds, and it's all inclusive, you know what I'm saying? So you just don't know a lot of them are stars, you know, like I said before, Ayanna Van Zandt, she lost 2 children. Some of them, she gave a platform to somebody like me who didn't reach the media, you know, a national story, and the other mothers, and that's why I like her, because like I go for a grant, and if I, you know, try to ask for donations when I mention Circle of Mothers, that's a lot of power. They're like, whoa, she's serious. It's not just some organization I just started. This is my personal life, and I know I'm uniquely qualified for it.
Absolutely.
So that's why that was a boost that I have. You know, we're with Lemonzzz to Lemonade, but part of the up under the umbrella of Lemonzzz to Lemonade will be Circle of Mothers. We're working on that curriculum right now.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, you seem to have a lot of drive and determination, and you know firsthand, and you're very intelligent. You apparently like to work with children.
Yes.
That's, yeah, I commend you for that. Appreciate you.
Okay.
So we're going to have a conversation with Lavon next, but first we're going to take a commercial break. The Thornton Review is a civic engagement show with a purpose to spread awareness by interviewing local elected officials, candidates, and professional leaders. This is information you won't get anywhere else. You can watch the Thornton Review on our various outlets, on our website, thethorntonreview.com. On Vimeo, please follow the Thornton Review. On YouTube, please subscribe to the Thornton Review at the Thornton Review 7810. And please like our Facebook page, the Thornton Review Show. On TV, WBQP channels 12.1 and 12.8, and WBQP on Roku and Fire Stick. So we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion with Cindy Martin, Lemonzzz to Lemonade, and Lavon Brown, P.A.I.N, Parents Against Injustice and Negligence. There is no government-funded program that can guide a man's thoughts. Only God can do that. Company can install any type of fence. When you call and mention the Thornton Review, you'll receive a $100 discount on your fence. They also offer military discounts. Vinyl fence, wood fence, aluminum fence, chain link fence. If it has the word fence, Alpha Fence Company can do it. 850-586-8020. 850-586-8020. Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in. We're going to continue our discussion with Cindy Martin and Lavon Brown. So Lavon, I have a battery of questions for you.
Okay, great.
First off, how do people get in touch with P.A.I.N, Parents Against Injustice and Negligence? How do they get in touch with you?
You can call me at 850-221-0753, or our Facebook page is Parents Against Injustice and Negligence, or our address.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
I was going to say hashtag P.A.I.N support group.
Okay, hashtag P.A.I.N support group. And also our address is 2400 West Michigan Avenue, Unit 9.
Is there somebody there all the time?
No.
Where people can just walk in? Okay.
Yeah.
But that's where you have your meetings?
Yes.
And how often do you have your meetings?
The first and the third Monday of every month at 6 o'clock.
Okay. So when mothers call you, and I'm sure you get, that's how you've gotten your group together. You both have received phone calls from parents who want to join your support group, or maybe you heard of someone and maybe you reached out to them. How does that work? Do people call you, or do you have a network where you hear about mothers who've gone through the same thing, and do you ever reach out to them, or is it mainly them reaching out to you?
Yes, we reach out to some people Also, we work with Gail Williamson at the state attorney office. It's the victim advocate there, and she actually contact us, or the city victim advocate. She contact us, and then she refer them to us, or we'll hear about somebody from somebody in the community. Or we'll go out and try to reach out, or we'll hear their name on the internet and we'll research them and try to get in contact with them.
So you have a network of partners. You have partners that are professional counselors. And who all are you partnered with? Or what type of organizations are you partnered with?
Valerie House is one of them, which they do counseling for homicide victims, so that's very good because
So they specialize in it.
right, yes. So they meet twice of a month, and it's on a Thursday, the first and the third Thursday of each month, and they for the whole family.
How many, do we have the numbers of how many mothers of victims are in Escambia County like right now?
I don't know.
We don't have the numbers?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't have the number.
You talking about victims as in shot, killed?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Or killed by any type of violence.
At least 25 a year, and you go back to, I don't know how far you want to go back, but
25 a year.
minimum.
Yes, it's quite a bit. Yeah. The numbers vary. Yeah.
Is it in a specific community, or is it just widespread everywhere? All over, just across Escambia County?
Now it's starting to spread. It used to be specifically in area code 32501 and
District
5, District 3.
District
So,
3.
but now it's all over the place.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out what's causing this and go to the root of the problem. And a lot of times it's drugs.
Decades of government and societal disinvestment in under-resourced communities, like redlining.
And maybe sometimes the parents aren't responsible and doing what they're supposed to do. Maybe they're not good disciplinarians. Maybe they're off doing stuff that they're not supposed to be doing, and children are watching them.
Both parents in prison, grandmother raising them. Nobody laid a path for them. So plethora. When you look at a pie and you cut it up, it's a whole lot of different reasons, and it's a lot.
So that's what you two are trying to do. You're trying to reach out to these people.
Fill the gap.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say like I deal with everybody. So anybody who is a homicide is a homicide. Don't matter if they black, they white.
Sure.
You know, so a lot of time people put like homicide, oh, it's drug related or it's black people. But it's if it's a school shooting, that's if another human being unlawfully kill another human being, that's a homicide, point blank. And that's what I deal with everybody, you know. So you don't have to. I mean, domestic violence, whatever it might be. So you just don't know, because it's been a lot of domestic violence cases that's you know, came from homicide. I think lately that's what I've been hearing, a lot of domestic violence, and I think it went up with when we had the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So a lot
because
of
they were
people was
stuck at home alone,
Yeah.
getting on each other's nerves,
Yeah.
and oh gosh, yeah.
So a lot of murder suicides have been occurring lately, and it still was like domestic violence cases.
Yeah, I heard just north of North Hill recently there were 2 events within the last year, like within a block of each other, where it was a domestic violence and suicide.
Yeah,
Both times.
Right, because sometimes they'll shoot the person and then kill themselves. But I think one was recently that the man shot the lady, but then she didn't actually die. He killed himself.
Wow.
So I guess he thought she was dead, but she survived. And it's bad because you know, they leave their children, you know, behind. Either one is in jail and then one is dead, deceased.
Yeah, and those children need guidance.
Yeah,
they need counseling, years of counseling after something like that, because
it's a process.
their minds are developed. It's not like us grown adults where, our cerebral cortex is already formed. Their cerebral cortex is forming, and it's a sponge, and the way they take in information for the first time is a lot different than the way we take in information for the first time, because we can sort it out and then manage it. When they're taking it in, it can be shocking to us, but it's shocking to them, and they don't know how to manage it or sort it out and then put it together and figure out solutions. It's a lot different. The way they absorb information is a lot different from adults whose brains are fully developed.
Right.
So it's very important to get in touch with the children, to get them while they're young and guide them a certain way.
Yeah. And then too, I always say that the father, is missing. Even like we are parents, so it's not just mothers, it's parents. So a father and a mother, a male and a female. And I think the father is missing from the families. That's causing a lot of the problem as well. They always say it take a community. So, I mean, the church,
Yeah.
we all got to come together, to help raise the children. So I always say you can't blame it on the police department. You can't blame it on the parents by themselves. You can't blame it on the teachers. You can't. I mean, it's a lot. The blame game always.
Right.
Well, who fault is it? And it's like we just got to come together. And and I always say, if everybody do a little, don't nobody got to do a lot. So we all come together. We can make, huge leaps.
My saying is, do your part.
Yeah.
I love that saying. Many hands make light work. Also,
Yes.
All hands on deck.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then too, I think you were saying something about with a homicide and if somebody just regular die, it's a huge difference because it's a process. I always explain it too, like if you was in a car accident, that kind of like a car accident, or when you die, or when you get hurt, that you have to, the ambulance come, then they take you to the emergency room. Then you might get a little better. Then you go to ICU. Then you go to a room. Then you might have to go to a nursing home, a rehabilitation, and then you go home. So it's a process.
it's a healing process.
Right.
Like cancer, you get to suffer with them. Whether you know what I'm saying. Most times, years of it. It's different.
Right.
We can't come across the yellow tape.
Right.
We can't even see our child.
It was unexpected and
You stole
shocking.
my child's
and
life.
Yeah.
And I asked people, I said,
The
you
person
ever
did
lost
it.
your wallet or lost your purse?
That-
Then you feel violated.
Yeah.
Somebody
Oh,
stole
yeah.
Another human-
our
it was a
son's
choice,
dreams and aspirations and goals and everything they want to do.
And
our
the
grandchildren.
hatred that's involved, because obviously somebody had to have hated to do that.
And this is a small town right here. So you got these people, families against those families. It's
Right.
bad. Yeah, that's the difference. In the, we know better, but that's what we have to deal with.
Yeah, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, it's a big old difference. Yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
difference. Yeah.
People don't understand,
Yeah.
but hey.
But I said, thank God, God is the head of my life. And I thank God because I didn't have any bitter, any hate, Even in the court, my son's name was Lavon Brown, And every time I think about him, I smile.
I was there, of course.
He was.
All these people kept saying he came, he wore a blue shirt, and he went that way.
He was a sweet son. Had 2 kids and a wife. So the impact of when somebody kills somebody is not just they killing that person. I mean, it affects the whole family. So then now you got like the whole family. I know when my son died, my mama, it took her back. So she took a long time to adjust in life, So, and then they have children, So now you got a 1-parent household there. Your income, and a good thing he was had a lot of Social Security, so they was taking care all the way to they, of age. Thank God for that. And a lot of people don't, So that's a blessing by itself. But it's so much that goes into that, that the children especially, my heart just goes out to the children, and that's why we do for our annual event. It's called In the Spirit of Giving, which we cater to the children who have been affected by a homicide every year for In the Spirit of Giving, we call it. And we'll let the kids know that they're not forgotten. We'll give them toys. We'll have an event for them, take them to the skating rink or paint party or whatever we might do, some kind of event that we do for them. But we just love on them and just make sure they know they are not forgotten and somebody loves them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Didn't you have you had to go back to court for your son with Robert? An appeal?
Yeah, I did. He did appeal, but they always do, and they'll tell you.
They have all the rights. They have all,
yeah, they're gonna do appeal, and all of them do it. They'll do appeal, and then you got to go back. And I was very involved in my case, so and that's how we do. Also, we had one of our services. We go to court with the victim's family. You know, let them know.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, it's hard.
So, I mean, I've been a victim of crimes. You know, somebody tried to kick in the door of one of my rental properties one time. And I went down to the bond hearing, and I was the only victim at the bond hearing. I know this does not compare to what you've been through, but I was the only victim there. And he had a rap sheet. He'd been arrested at least 20 to 40 times before of the same thing. It was battery, burglary, drugs, battery, burglary, drugs, battery, burglary, larceny. You know, there's a couple other things thrown in there every once in a while. But he'd been arrested so many times and bonded out. And so I explained my story to the judge. And I said, for these reasons, I'm asking for the highest bond possible. And guess what? He got the highest bond.
And he got out.
He got the highest bond, $77,000. He stayed in jail for maybe 9 months. Somebody paid $7,000 and got him out. And he was arrested 2 months later.
Oh, wow.
So he's back in jail, and it's going to a jury trial now. He burglarized a whole bunch of
offender.
Yeah. It wasn't just my place. He burglarized a slew of places, and so, but I think that the reason he got the highest bond was because I went down and spoke. Yeah. And so I'm thinking, and I told the judge, I said that this judicial system is broken. Because people are just getting out. They're bonding out. You're giving low bonds, and they're getting out, and they're doing the same thing over again. I want guarantee from you that it's not going to happen again to me or my neighbors.
Same with a murder. They get right out, bond out.
Yeah.
So,
but you can request, because that's what I did when we had the first hearing. I asked, to make sure he didn't get out. So you do have to request for that. So they did. You can request.
I went down there
And then it's up to the judge to either give them a bond. Now, I think if you murdered somebody, they shouldn't even have a bond.
No,
but some people do.
They didn't give you on there to kill my son a bond. I was surprised.
Oh, good, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if it just depends on the
circumstances.
No, somebody that killed somebody.
He got 55 years. He was 17 years old.
Wow.
He never saw daylight after.
So he's still in.
I never understood it, but they were telling me, like you were saying, repetitive.
So he was repeat.
Oh yeah.
See,
many gun charges from the time he was little. Wow. I don't know exactly. I didn't go out into depth, but they judge.
The judicial system, that's proof, is broken. What's it going to take? I own a housekeeping service, and I had a housekeeper inside that house when he was trying to get in. He came, because I had a ring cam right there. I could see everything he was doing. He came to the house at least 4 times throughout the day, and the first 3 times she was inside, and he was trying to open the door. What would have happened, and I asked the judge this, if he thought the place was vacant, but she had forgotten to lock the door maybe, and he walked in and they met face to face. What would have happened? We don't know what would have happened. Hopefully he would have turned around and run, but the worst could have happened. And so she was, frightened. But I explained that to the judge, and then when his the defendant attorney spoke, she was very sheepish and very soft-spoken, and she only said, she was looking down, she said, "We're asking for the lowest bond possible." Like, after I said my entire thing, she heard me. She knew that he's a repeat offender and that he's going to get out and just do it again. So she probably didn't really want him out, because it could be her house next.
I think that's a big problem as well, that a lot of them get out and then they end up killing somebody.
Yeah.
Because they not, they
or severely.
No rehabilitation. They just lock them up and let them back out.
Right.
Yeah.
They're in their own medication. When they get out, they don't have to take the medicine no more. So now they're angry. They can't control it. Because they used to be
Did they
in a
give them
controlled
medicine in jail?
environment.
Do they give them medicine in jail?
Yes, they do.
Really?
Yes, all of them.
Well, that's not good, because they're drug addicts. They need to be off the
They
medicine.
give them medication.
Because once they get out, they're going to go looking for some medicine.
They say they're crazy. What do you call
Well-
that? They try to plead insanity. They go in there, they get them medication, they get out, and then they not taking their medication, they go do the same thing. First thing they're going to do is go rob somebody. They don't have
Yeah.
anywhere to go. They're going to be homeless.
Right. They need drug money.
Well, not everyone, body, but most of them,
Yeah. So and I asked the judge, what's the guarantee? Why does he keep getting back out? And she said, it's not me. She said, I have to go by the law. If you want changes, you have to go to Tallahassee and change the legislation. So, I mean,
it's a lot, it's a lot. It is, but you still have to go through. That's why I don't do like try to blame, This is the
Right.
police department. It's the community. I don't do none of that. It's like I just try to get in and then try to make a difference
Going forward.
where I'm at. Yeah, because I can't change anything about my son is dead. So that's why I do like what I do, because I can't change him being dead, but then I can try to help somebody else.
I like that she said he's dead, because a lot of people say, I lost my son.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
Sabrina always say, he's not lost. He died. Just tell it how it is. He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
It's hard to say that.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
well, it's down to earth. It shows that you two have healed to a certain extent.
Right.
I mean, I can imagine you're never going to be 100% healed. It's impossible. I mean, I'm not trying to negatively counsel you, but I can only imagine the pain. I mean, my heart just goes out to you.
It seemed like it just happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Pain don't go away.
So my childhood best friend, who's my age, we grew up together. We've known each other since the second grade. We were in school, we went to school together. We grew up together. We did stuff outside of school. We were always spending the night at each other's houses. She was actually renting a house next door to my parents, raised her children. And just last year, her oldest son was murdered. And so I'm going to give her your phone number, because I know she's grieving. She hasn't had any counseling at all. And her daughter, who was the sister of the boy, they both need counseling. They do. And I've talked to them about that. I'm telling them they need a bereavement counselor, but now I've learned that there's a difference. They need special counseling.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Not just any bereavement counselor
No
that the
traditional
hospital would.
counseling, no.
At the
Yeah,
court.
it's a difference. And then when you go to court, and even like if you don't find, like when somebody get killed, then if they don't, the police department, or they don't find who did it, it's that's another thing.
Oh my
Because
God.
I remember before they caught Robert Parker Jr. That killed my son, I used to be on Facebook. If anybody know anything about this
We
case,
used to knock
please
on
contact.
doors.
Yeah, we went
Shit.
and knocked on
On
doors. I knocked
everybody's
on
door.
doors, because I
I'll
was
never
like, what can I
forget.
do to help? But it's
We
a
were
lot.
our own
though, to be
detectives.
alive.
I did the
Yeah.
same thing in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
We
I
know
made flyers and posters, put them up, Yeah.
because people are kind of reluctant to talk to investigators.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, you go in there, his mother's like, oh my God, oh
But
my
I
God.
could say that I had a good team, at the because it's a team you get. It's a lot that goes on with it, but they got to find the person first. But if you don't find who did it, it's you just in a waiting game. And then it can even turn into a cold case where it just sit on the shelf. So actually when they find, when they find who did it, it goes to the state attorney office, and then they start working on it. But they give it's a team, because, and then too, you have to ask, can I get an update on my case? And when they have to do an update on your case, the whole team comes together and tell you about what's the update is. So that's a good thing to know as well. But until they find who did it, you study like out there, and it's a whole burn, like who did this and why did they do this, and
that's
a lot
more
of mothers
trauma.
have mourned themselves to death.
They grieve. They grieve
Emotional
themselves.
trauma, not knowing.
Yeah, I talked to one today. She was like, "I'll be so glad Mama Rose when they find justice for my son."
Yeah.
And that was in
Because you need that
2011.
closure.
It's
You need to know.
terrible.
You need to know all the details of what happened, who did it, why they did it, and then justice.
Right.
Knowing that they're being punished for what they did.
Right. Yeah. And there's so many people, because I know a lot of like even famous people. Serena Williams. I don't think they found out who did her sister. It's a lot, because I was doing the research, like how many famous people, and then they still don't know who did it. You know,
So Serena
Williams.
They're
Yeah,
both
her
tennis
sister-
players.
And one of their sisters got murdered in California.
Wow, was she famous? The one that got murdered?
No,
Okay.
she wasn't famous, but it was one of those sisters. Yeah. But it's so many, like, I mean, murders that have occurred, and Chicago is really bad. So, but like you said,
Well,
we
we
just
don't
here trying to
want
help.
we don't want Escambia County to become another Chicago.
Oh my
No,
God,
no,
it
it's-
is. It seems like, and I always say that this is not Chicago, this is not Detroit, this is Escambia County, and it is spreading like a cancer. It's starting to normalize here. The murders.
But
it's starting to
sometimes
normalize.
it's be on the high, then it gets low. Like, and then it be on the high, then it gets low. But like I said, lately though, it's been a lot of domestic violence cases that have been occurred. But you know, in our Favor House, I used to work for Favor House years ago, and but yeah, Favor House deal with a lot of domestic violence cases. But we also have the Garden of Peace and Hope. That was a vision that
I wanted
the
to
Lord-
ask you about that for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, that's like my pride and joy. The Garden of Peace and Hope is a memorial for homicide victims, where the families, the community can go. It's very peaceful out there, and they can go and meditate on their good memories they had with their loved ones, the good times that they had. Because a lot of times people don't like to go to the cemetery. You know, because it's kind of...
It just brings up those feelings. And
Right.
I can imagine a lot of people want to push away those feelings. They don't want to feel that.
Right.
And so they push it away, but probably the healing process would be to let those feelings come out so that they can process the feelings and the emotions and the thoughts and everything that occurred. And I could only imagine that would help you move on. Is to deal with it,
But
to face it.
You know, it's not like moving on. It's just like...
Well, no, I know. I'm sorry, because, you know, I'm thinking about it the way I process things, but I know it's...
Yeah, it's like a process, though. It is, you basically, you learn to how to live life, you know, through going through the process. Every day is something different, you know, because even like we working, and a lot of people don't understand, like if we get up and speak, or we go somewhere and we have to speak, and sometimes we get in depths, you know, with what happened, and it takes a lot out of you, and then you have to basically build yourself back up to it. So, but people don't realize when you share, like, I mean, when you go into depths, because I've been to churches or public events, and it's quite on how you feeling, and when you go into, like, you know, really telling the story, it can drain you so, and then you have to basically kind of steal away, and then, you know, bring yourself back up to, it's a lot.
So you're inviting everybody who's dealt with any type of traumatic death, homicide, to join your group. It's a support group. It's therapeutic. It's meant to help people adjust and regroup and pull through this.
Right.
And so you're there to help. You have professionals who are trained in helping people with this particular issue.
Right. We refer them to professional counselors. Yeah, but we are a support group. So we're not professional counselors, but we refer them to.
Yeah, you're
Right.
partnered with professional
Right,
counselors.
yes.
So it's a group that you can refer people to. If you're having this issue, I think you could talk to
Right.
this person. That's really good.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
And the difference in mine is that we are a support group, but it's for all inclusive of mothers who lost children
Okay.
in different ways. Our mission is to connect and assist mothers who share the profound experience of grieving the death of a child. Through advocacy, counseling, educational services, we shape a healthy environment for youth ages 8 to 18, transforming tragedy into a legacy of empowerment. And positivity, and we're doing that from the out of the loss of our children in their names. So
Well, you're both pillars in the community, and I thank you. I'm very tragically sorry for what you've had to go through and what you have to live with, but you have taken that tragedy and you are doing good for the community and for other people. And I can tell you both have drive and determination, and you're
Gotta
making
keep it
things
moving.
happen. You're making positive things happen. You're making positive changes in the community. You're helping people, helping children. That's very important because they have to be structured while they're young. You can't wait till they grow up.
No.
So, but thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for
It was
having
a really
us. Yes.
pleasant conversation with you, and I'm so glad I got to meet you, both of you.
when you want to see results, you have to apply pressure. When there's water dripping out of a waterfall and the water constantly drips on that rock, it eventually is going to loosen. Keeps dripping on that rock after it loosens, it's finally it's going to fall. So water, even in the smallest dosages, are going to eventually loosen and topple the biggest rock, but it has to be consistent. You cannot drip today and turn the water off tomorrow. So we have to continue to keep going. And that's what Lavon and I are doing. She is the face of her organization. I'm the face of my organization. We have a group of people that's behind us, that's pushing us to make sure everything that's going right. When
Well
you see
said.
P.A.I.N, well said.
Well
When you see
said.
P.A.I.N, you see Lavon. When you see Lemonzzz, you see Sandy Martin.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
So the Thornton Review is on the air to provide public service awareness and intellectual infrastructure to our community. This show is made possible by Ida Gates, Godly Teas LLC, Alpha Fence Company, and our guests, Cindy Martin, Lemonzzz to Lemonade, and Lavon Brown, P.A.I.N, Parents Against Injustice and Negligence. It was great to have you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you again for
Thank
having
you.
us.
And we thank you for watching this episode of the Thornton Review. Bye-bye.